Greetings, leadership learners. It is Memorial Day. I hope you have had a pleasant and safe Memorial Day weekend. And I want to get you kicked off for week 4, as well as give you some reminders that this term is going to be over before you know it. One of the downsides of summer A is that it is super short. So we need to get moving. All right, so let's take a look first at the syllabus because I do want to remind you of the very, very short things that are very quickly coming up. If I can get all the way down there, there it is. All right, so we are starting week 4, which means that we are articulating a vision. And so this unit is the last module that is identical to what we've been doing, where you've got a discussion board, you've got to respond to the previous discussion board, you've got a journal. All right, so those are the regular assignments. I do want to point out while we're on this calendar page, though, that next week we are starting your official research paper. So we really have a very, very short time to do that. So I'm actually going to pop ahead just to go over that assignment with you in case you want to get started with it sooner rather than later. So let's go to the modules and we'll do this week first. We'll focus on this week first, but I do want to give you a little bit of a heads up so that you can do that. Don't forget, of course, your if you did not already do it, you need to come back to, oops, sorry, I'm focusing on the wrong one. You need to come back to the value sort and respond to at least 2 of your classmates on that, or you will have some points lost. I'm not going to look at it in the next few minutes. So if you get it done before I look at it, you're going to be okay. Otherwise, those points are going to come off. So keep that in mind. But this week's actual work, of course, takes place here in week 4. As usual, you, of course, will be able to access the course materials for free, but you do want to look at the Articulating a Vision page because, of course, it goes over the overview. It talks about the learning outcomes. It does have the paid materials, but then you also have the video lecture on this page. So even if you're using the free materials, make sure you come here to look over the overview and the video lecture for this week. In terms of what's being assessed this week, same thing. You've got a discussion board, which we'll go over. You've got a journal, which we probably don't need to go over because those operate the same way. And then, of course, you've got a link backward to the previous discussion board to take a look at as well. So let's talk about the discussion board this week. Specifically, we are talking about an activity called Assumptions About People. This is kind of a fun one. Like the last one, this one has a little handout that goes with it. I would print it out if I were you, although you certainly don't have to. You could just jot it down on a piece of paper. But you've got you assign a weight from 1 to 10 for each statement in each pair. And you want the 2 of them to add up to 10. So I'm just going to look at the first set with you. It's only human nature for people to do as little work as they can get away with, or when people avoid work, it's usually because their work has been deprived of its meaning. So if you 100% believe that it's only human nature for people to do as little work as they can get away with, you might want to put a 10 there and a 0 on B. If you see it both ways, you might even put a 5 and a 5. You can divide up the 10 points however you want to, but each of those sets gets 10 points total. And then you're going to do some math. It gives you the ones to add up, and then you will see, is it below? Yeah, we'll see below what that means. All right, so you are either going to be, your results are either going to be that you are a theory X leader or a theory Y leader. And that's what you're going to write about in your discussion. Okay, so that's this week's discussion post. In terms of the reading journal, of course, it operates the exact same way as all of them do. So nothing terribly new there. You need to make sure that you have 3 takeaways and that you are covering at least 2 of the pieces from this week's readings and videos. Try to cite them. You're gonna be fine if you have a few errors in citation, but starting next week, we're gonna be really citing sources, so it's a good idea to take a look at that. And I want to look at the research paper with you. Like I said, I want you to kind of see what's coming up. So the first assignment that's associated with that next week is the topic choice. So I'm going to just click on that. What you're going to be doing is you're going to choose a potential leader, to cover in your leadership profile, research paper, and presentation. The person has to come from this list, period. There's no exceptions. However, this list is 40 people long. So if you cannot find somebody on this list that you are not interested in, then you can talk to me about it. But I'm pretty set on the fact that they are going to come from this list. Some of these people are past leaders. Some of these people are present leaders. All of them have been featured in Forbes magazine as being on the world's greatest leader list. And I am a little bit worried that this is, I think there's another, I think I updated the list, but this one might not be the most updated. If you have somebody on either list, if there's a slightly different list in another spot on here, you are welcome to still write about the people that are on that list, because if I didn't change it, that's on me. But let's take a look. Let me see if it's in here. Mm-hmm. I just remember updating the list, but that looks like there's people on there that I thought I took off. But anyway, if you see a list in this class and that person is on it, then it is good. Okay. If you want to learn more about writing research papers, of course, we are going to be doing that in the next module. So you are welcome to go ahead and look at the materials there. We've got information on information literacy. We've got writing basics. We've got documentation stuff. You name it, it's there. This is the assignment and sample for the leadership profile paper. It still looks like it's the same. I think I did update the list in all the right places, but at any rate, you do need to choose somebody from my lists, even if there's more than one of them. And most of the time I have not had people complain. There's a lot of people on here that people find fascinating, so it's usually not an issue. But if there just really isn't anybody that you can think of, then you can talk to me. But it is going to be somebody from this list. We just we'll think about it. So feel free to look ahead. We'll talk more about it next week, but I wanted to give you a little preview of what's going to happen. Essentially, you're going to write a leadership profile. So you're going to talk about their ethics and their articulating visions and all the things that we've been focusing on. Some of them will fall under the heading of servant leadership, but many do not. So you may or may not talk about servant leadership, but you will pretty much talk about all the other types of leadership and aspects of leadership that we have been focusing on. And most people kind of enjoy writing it. It's, you're getting to pick somebody that you're interested in and have a little bit of fun with it. So if you have questions about that or anything else, don't hesitate to reach out this week. Otherwise, I'll see you next Monday if I don't talk to you in the meantime.